This is the TNA Wrestling May 9, 2024 full show results video. The system comes to the ring for a championship celebration and Brian Myers says to feast your eyes on the greatest faction in TNA wrestling history and points out that every member of the system is a champion. Myers says no one should be surprised by that, as they've all been winning titles their entire careers. He also says the system runs on gold, and they are an absolute dynasty. Moose says he's played on a lot of great teams, but the system is the greatest team of all time. Moose puts them over the 1996 Chicago Bulls and says if you don't believe him to ask Nick Nemeth and Broken Matt Hardy. Eddie Edwards says their accomplishments speak for themselves and then puts over his wife for winning her first championship in TNA. Edwards says you're looking at the greatest TNA knockout of all time, and Alicia says she wants to put a little more flair on the celebration and reveals a video package she made for the system. Broken Matt Hardy interrupts the video package and makes his way to the ring, and Hardy congratulates the system for winning the battle at Under Siege, but the war is far from over and says nothing is going to stop him from procuring the TNA championship. The Broken One says after Under Siege he understands the system a little bit better and knows now what he must do to render the system obsolete. Hardy says this isn't the end, it's only the beginning, and he would love to see Moose's Super Bowl ring. Alicia says no one can understand what he's saying because of his accent, and Hardy calls her a witch and tells her to shut up before she gets on Queen Rebecca's radar, and Moose reminds Hardy there are 4 of them and only one of him. Hardy says he doesn't like their odds and attacks them with a steel chair, but eventually, the numbers game catches up to Matt Hardy, and he gets beat down. Moose puts the chair on Hardy's head and intends to take him out like they did Nick Nemeth, but luckily for Hardy, Ryan Nemeth makes the save with a kendo stick, and he and Hardy clear the ring. ABC are backstage and Chris Bay and Ace Austin say tonight's tag match isn't going to come between them. Ace Austin says if someone had his back at Under Siege he would be an X-Division champion right now, teasing dissension with Chris Bay after all. Santino Marella is backstage and gets screamed at by the system, telling him to do something about Matt Hardy and Ryan Nemeth. Marella says he's about to make an announcement that will allow the system to get some revenge, so stay tuned, and he walks away, leaving the system furious. Then we saw a match between Top Class versus FBI, and the result of this match was Top Class defeated FBI by pinfall. Santino Marella is backstage trying to get things done on the phone but is confronted by Jake Something and the Rascalz. Marella makes a tag team match between the Rascalz and Jake Something with a partner of his choosing, and Cody Deaner quickly arrives and accepts the spot, and the match is official. Alan Angels hosts the latest episode of Soundcheck with Khan and Steph DeLander, and Angels says they're the best guests he could ask for. Angels say the two are dating, and DeLander corrects him. DeLander says if he wants to have a talk show, he better check his facts. Khan gets annoyed with the whole ordeal and tries to walk away, and Angels tries to stop him, and he and his security get attacked. Eventually, Khan and DeLander leave. Then we saw an Albany Tornado tag team match between the Rascalz versus Jake Something and Cody Deaner, and the result of this match was the Rascalz defeated Jake Something and Cody Deaner by pinfall. After the match, Steve Macklin comes out and attacks both of the Rascalz from behind at ringside, and Macklin throws Miguel into the steel post and then hits Wentz with the Kia on the entrance ramp. Macklin returns backstage and Gia Miller asks him why he just did that. Steve Macklin says the Rascalz walked out on him twice, so he took them out twice, and he reveals that he was the one who took out Trey Miguel at Under Siege. Frankie Kazarian confronts Macklin and says his lack of focus is why they lost at Under Siege, and Macklin says Kazarian's issue with Eric Young isn't his problem, and Kazarian responds by telling Macklin he's on his own when it comes to Mike Santana. Gabby La Spica is in the ring to interview Ash By Elegance, and Gabby teases Ash for her name and wants to see her birth certificate and wants to know why she calls herself Elegance. Ash says it's a lifestyle brand, and Gabby says she doesn't know what that means because she's never heard of it. Ash says this is the most classless interview she's ever done and she's going to leave, and Gabby apologizes and pivots by playing the video of Ash attacking Havoc following their match at Under Siege. Gabby questions if Ash is so angry because of her loss to Zaya Brookside on TNA Impact a couple of weeks ago. Ash says that's why she's upset, but it's not because she lost, it was because the referee stole her jewelry. Gabby says she spoke to TNA management, and she'll have the opportunity to get her jewelry back if she can beat Zaya Brookside in a rubber match. Zaya Brookside comes out and says they can have the rematch next week for the rings, and Ash accepts, and the match is official. Santino Marella makes his big announcement, and there will be a Champions Challenge next week on TNA Impact, where the champions face off against their respective challengers in a big tag team match. The next match happened between Jonathan Gresham vs. Will Ferreira, and the result of this match was Jonathan Gresham defeated Will Ferreira by pinfall. A weird vignette airs showing Gail Kim showing up at the Lotus Wellness Retreat to find Giselle Shaw, and Kim tells Shaw they need to talk. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Speedball Mountain vs. ABC. Mustafa Ali was sitting at the commentary desk, and the result of this match was Speedball Mountain defeated ABC by pinfall. Trent Seven will now face Speedball Mike Bailey in the future for the right to challenge Mustafa Ali for the X Division Championship, and the show goes off the air.